this is Maggie. I am here to do a quick sort of tutorial as to how I put together the base for my file folder December daily album. I had shared this previously and got a few requests as to how I put together the actual album base. If you'd like to see the video of the walkthrough of this album, I will link it down below. But I am just going to show you how I put together the actual base. So the first thing you're going to need obviously are file folders. These are just regular manila tabbed file folders that I get at Staples. I buy them in a box of 100 for about $7. They look like that. And I use these for everything. So I mean, I use them for tons of stuff around the house and for the kids for school. So I mean, I always have these in my house. The tab placement doesn't matter. I just pick 3 random ones and we're good to go. You can do more. This one is just going to have 3. This, my December daily, I think, I don't remember how many I used. I want to say 1, 2, 3, I want to say I used 4 or 5 for this, but I can't remember. Now I know that this is really bulky and it doesn't close very well, but I like that because I like to stand it up. But if you wanted something that was going to lay a little bit more flat, then you obviously wouldn't embellish it as heavy as I did. Alright, so file folders. You're also going to need a paper trimmer, obviously. Glue, I like to use the Scotch Tacky or the Scotch Quick Dry Glue. I just have mine in a fine line bottle. I like to use this over something like ATG. I find that it holds better. You could use red line tape. I just don't have very much left, so I won't be using that. So I like to use the wet glue because I think that it works a lot better. You'll also need pencil and a bone folder. Now my bone folder, this is not a bone folder. My bone folder is somewhere, I have no idea. I think my middle daughter probably walked away with it. It's probably under her bed or in one of the toy bins in their playroom. She tends to walk off with my craft supplies quite frequently. So I'm gonna have to buy a new bone folder. In the meantime, I'm just going to use the rounded edges of my EK Success precision tweezers. It works fine. It does its thing. The other thing you're gonna need, which I forgot to grab, are some binder clips. And I use these to help hold the album together while the glue is drying. And depending on how thick your album is, you know, it will dictate how thick your binder clips or how big your binder clips need to be. I've got huge ones. I mean, and this is completely optional. Sometimes I use them, sometimes I don't. On an album as small as the one that I'm going to make today, I probably won't need to use these. But we shall see. It depends on how they lay. All right, so let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is trim down our folders. Now the album we're going to make today is going to be 4 inches wide by about 5 inches tall. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to trim my folders down to double the width of the album. In this case, since we're making a 4-inch album, I need to trim my folders down to 8 inches. So that is going to be my first step. And I'm going to trim off the tab end because the fold is going to be part of our book. There's 1. 2. And 3. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to trim my folders into the height that I need. So I want my height to be 5 inches, so I'm going to trim these into 5-inch sections. You want to make sure that you have a whole corner and not a notched corner. If you can see that, this corner has a little notch taken out of it. You want to kind of just like have that as scrap. You don't want to use that. So I'm going to start trimming from this end, and I'm going to trim this into 5-inch sections. And how we do this is we take our 5-inch section, or 5 by 8-inch section, we open it up with the inside facing down. Now we're going to take this edge and fold it towards the middle, and this edge and fold it towards the middle. Just like this. And here's where your bone folder would come in handy, or your tweezers. Just make a nice crisp edge. Do the same thing over here. Nice crisp edge. Okay. What you end up with is something that looks like a W or an M. And that is one group of pages for your book. So I'm going to go ahead, fold the rest of these. I'll put you on fast forward while I do that, and then we will continue on. Okay, so now that we have all our pages folded, we're going to start to glue. The first step of gluing is what is going to make the pockets on the top of the album. So in order to create those pockets, we need to apply glue to just 3 or just 2 sides. Here and here, so that when you close this, the top remains open, and that is what creates your pocket. So, take my wet glue. Yep. And I'm going to apply glue down this line and this line. I may be running out. You don't want to apply too much glue because you don't want the glue to seep out all over the place. So, and then you just fold that down. Seal. See a little glue seepage there. We're going to do the same thing on this side. Down one side. Across the bottom. Seepage there. There you have it. That is how you create your pages with pockets. Now at this point, this is when I would binder clips on, especially at the bottom, to kind of hold it closed. That way the bottom of the pocket stays. You can put them along the side there, but I don't really find it necessary. It's sticking pretty well. Alright, so let's do that again. So here's your at W or your M. We're going to glue along 2 sides, 2 seams on each side. So down the long end, across the bottom, and close. Run your finger along it to make sure you get a nice good seal. And again here, down the spine, across the bottom. Oops, see, this is why I use the binder clips. Binder clips to make sure we get a nice seal. There we go. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and put you on fast forward while I take care of the glue on the rest of these. So now we have all our pages glued together to make the pockets. One thing I did is I just took a pencil and I marked where the top of this group is, or this page is, so I know where the pockets are. See, there's the pockets. I have put albums together where I have glued them upside down, and I've had to rip the entire album apart. So there's our pockets. As you can see, I've created those. And now our next step is to glue all these pages together. So I'm going to take off my binder clips, stack these with the opening facing the right way on the top. There we go. Okay, and our last one here, the top. All right, so now, this is basically your album. We need to glue this together. You can see that, I don't know if you can tell, but there are like some imperfections in the album. What you can do is after you get the whole entire album put together, you can just take some sandpaper or even like, you know, an emery board or something and just, I'm not gonna do it right now because the sound is horrid, but you can just kind of shave that down, or even put it on if you have like a industrial guillotine trimmer, you could just kind of trim that down. It doesn't typically bother me. It's not off that much, so. All right, so let's put these together. There's two ways that you can do this. You can glue it so that this page here is solid. In other words, you will not have a pocket, a side pocket. And to do that, you're just going to put glue all across and then glue them together. If you do this, I highly suggest that you cover this edge with either some washi tape or put a one of those Avery index tabs on here so that people looking at your album do not try to pry these pages apart. If you have a husband like mine, he will try to do that. So sometimes I'll put pockets here, sometimes I won't, but if I don't, I'll make sure that this is sealed really well with either some washi tape or one of those little Avery index tabs. So I'm going to show you how to do it both ways. So the first way I'm going to do it is to glue the entire thing. All right, and to do that, you're going to put glue along all four sides of the back of one of your little, I'm going to call them signatures because that's what you call them in bookbinding. So I'm going to put glue along all four sides of my first signature. So like that, and across, and then I'll just put some in the center for good measure. Okay, and I'm going to take my second signature, line it up, press, and then there we go. We have our first two signatures glued together. But you can see what I mean. This one isn't so bad. Sometimes you'll have a bigger gap there. And if you don't put something on there, someone might try to rip those apart. So there's our first two signatures. Now, to glue it so that you have a side pocket, we're going to do something similar to what we did when we made the signatures. So we're only going to add glue now on three sides. So we have an opening along the edge of the book, and at the top, the spine, and the bottom are closed. Slide something in our little pocket here. So I take my glue, and again, along the top, along the spine, and along the bottom only. Okay? Take my next signature, line it up, and press. Oops, see, now it's shifted. Gotta be careful. Could use the binder clips again here. I'm not going to just for the sake of time. And now we have a little pocket in here in the side where you could slip something in. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and just apply or put together the rest of the signatures. I'm going to do, let's see, I've got 3 signatures left. I'm going to do one more solid, one with a pocket, and then solid. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put you on fast forward while I do that. So we've got our album all together. We've got our pockets on the top. The middle pages all have 2 pockets on the top because of the way that we glued them together. I don't know if you can see, there's 2 pockets there. We do have an occasional side pocket, which is nice. And then solid page, side pocket, solid page. Now the things that I like to use to make my inserts for the pockets, Project Life cards are perfect. I just have some of these journaling cards here. These are perfect. They fit in the top really nicely, and they fit in the side pockets really nicely. And what I will sometimes do is add an Avery index tab to the side of the Project Life card to make it easy to pull in and out. The other thing you can do to ease getting the cards in and out, or the inserts, is you can create a little notch. And the way that I do that is I just take the pocket and I will take a hole punch. This one is a little bit large. I don't know if it's going to work, but we'll see. Yep, and I'm just going to slide it in the pocket, punch, and then we've got a little notch there. And that way people will see when they're looking at your album that there is something in there to pull out. The other thing I like to use are tags. These are just some tags I got from Tuesday Morning, and they're a little small for this, but tags fit in here really well, and then you can add the string like I did on my December Daily. You can also make your own tags to fit exactly the size of the pocket. You can also do the notches on your little side pockets here. I just do it the same way. Slide my thing in here and punch. You're punching through 2 layers there, so it's a little bit more difficult. Now we've got a little notch there. Okay. And that's it. That's how you make the album. Sometimes what I will do is just put this underneath a heavy book, leave it there overnight, or even just for an hour or 2 to make sure that the glue is really dry before I start decorating it. Like I mentioned before, if the unevenness of the top of the album really bothers you, just take some sandpaper or put it on a heavy-duty guillotine trimmer, trim that down. You can also just use, like I said, an emery board and just file that down. And then the possibilities are endless decorating it. I have so much fun decorating these. They're a great way to use up supplies. The Valentine's Day one that I'm going to be posting later this week, I just used leftover Valentine's Day supplies that I had in my stash. My December Daily, again, I just used leftover supplies, a lot of scraps. It's a great way to use up your scraps. So I hope this tutorial was clear. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them below in the comments, and I will answer them as best I can. I hope that you do try to make one of these little mini albums, and I'd love to see it if you do. And that's it. So look forward to the Valentine's Day mini album, which I'll be posting, like I said, later this week. I hope you all have a great day, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye!